What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my Blu-ray DVD update for October 31st, 2017. Of course, Halloween today. So I've got 9 movies to show you, all from last year, 2016. Sort of my horror haul from last year. They're not all strict horror movies. There's a couple of suspense, thrillers, mysteries in here. Yeah, last year wasn't really a great year for horror, I thought, compared to like 2015 and 2014. And from what I've seen so far this year, 2017, there hasn't been really that many great horror films either. I watched Wish Upon last night. Pretty silly movie, I thought. But anyway, there's some pretty decent films in this this update, so let's get to it. So up first we have The Boy, directed by William Brent Bell, starring Lauren Cohan, of course from The Walking Dead fame. Really like her on that show, but to be honest, I haven't actually watched the last season and a half of The Walking Dead, so I don't know if she's even still on that show. That's a show I need to catch up on, but I like her a lot as an actress on that show, and I thought she was good in this movie. She plays, interestingly enough, an American who travels to England to take on a job as a nanny for an elderly couple to look after their young son. But when she gets there, she's confronted with the fact that it's a life-size doll made up to look like their dead son who passed away 20 years ago, and of course nothing creepy about that. Rupert Evans also in the film. Yeah, good atmosphere. I liked Lauren Cohan's performance in this movie. Yeah, some creepy good scares here and there. Wasn't great, but I still enjoyed it. The Boy. Alright guys, moving on. We have The Conjuring 2, directed by James Wan. Of course, sequel to the first one, starring Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. This time they take on the famous case in England, the Enfield haunting. Not as good as the first one, but I still enjoyed it, about this single mother in London with her 4 kids dealing with malevolent spirits. The usual type of stuff from James Wan and co. Yeah, like I said, not as good as the first one, but I still like Vera Farmiga. Very good actress. Patrick Wilson good as well. Frances O'Connor in this movie as well. The Conjuring 2. Alright, up next we have one of the better horror movies I thought of last year, Don't Breathe, directed by Fede Alvarez. Yeah, interesting film about 3 young thieves who break into a house trying to rob a blind man, but they get a lot more than they bargain for. Played by Stephen Lang, really good in this film. Yeah, some really good tension, some good surprises early on in this movie. Yeah, really cool film. I liked it a lot. Yeah, one of the better horror films of last year, I thought. That is Don't Breathe. Alright guys, moving on. More of a thriller, suspense. We have The Girl on the Train, based on the Paula Perkins novel, and directed by Tate Taylor. Of course, starring Emily Blunt. Yeah, sort of a comparison to Gone Girl when this came out, but not nearly as good as that movie. Big fan of Emily Blunt though, so that's why I sort of enjoyed this film. She plays a sort of very troubled and depressed divorcee, rides the train to work every day and fantasizes about this perfect couple she sees in a beautiful house on her travels. And then of course gets mixed up in the mystery of when a young girl disappears, played by Haley Bennett. Really good supporting cast, some good looking women in this film. Rebecca Ferguson I liked a lot. I loved her in Mission Impossible that she was in. You've got other people like Allison Janney, fantastic actress, big fan of her. Who else is in this film? Luke Evans from The Hobbit fame, really good as well. Yeah, not a great film. I enjoyed it for the most part. Kind of slow and sort of dull for most of the film, though. The ending sort of unravels a little bit, if you ask me. But yeah, like I said, big fan of Emily Blunt, and not nearly as good as Gone Girl, which this film drew a lot of comparisons to. That is The Girl on the Train. Alright, up next, another sort of mystery thriller. Not really a horror film, but it is Inferno, directed by Ron Howard. Of course, based on the books by Dan Brown. Of course, the third in this Robert Langdon series, played by Tom Hanks. Yeah, I like the Da Vinci Code a lot, and I enjoyed Angels and Demons. This one probably the weakest of the three, co-starring Felicity Jones. I've become a big fan of her. I've liked her in everything I've seen her in. I think she's a really good young actress. She was great in Rogue One, of course. The Theory of Everything. I liked her a lot in Monster Calls, also from last year. So yeah, I've liked her in pretty much everything I've seen, and I thought she was good in this. Of course, Tom Hanks wakes up in an Italian hospital with amnesia, and he teams up with a doctor played by Felicity Jones to stop a deadly virus, sort of drawing comparisons to Dante's Inferno. Yeah, sort of the European version of National Treasure, these type of films. Famous symbologist Robert Langdon running around Europe, looking into clues, trying to figure out these ancient things. Yeah, good fun. I love Tom Hanks, of course, great actor, one of the best of all time. And I enjoyed these films, so that is Inferno. Alright guys, moving on, we have The Neon Demon, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. Yeah, fantastic sort of horror noir thriller, starring Elle Fanning as a aspiring model in Los Angeles. Great looking film. I thought Elle Fanning was stunning in this movie. Yeah, very dark and sort of seedy side of the LA modeling scene. Really interesting film. Yeah, good supporting cast. People like Jenna Malone, Christina Hendricks, and Keanu Reeves. A fantastic ending, like really crazy ending. And like I said, Elle Fanning, I thought she was stunning in this movie. I really enjoyed her performance. Not somebody I really thought of in this type of role before I watched it, but I thought she was fantastic. Yeah, really interesting, great looking film. From the guy who brought us Drive. I know a lot of, already a cult favorite pretty much, even though I had problems with that movie, still a really good film. Also starring Christina Hendricks. Yeah, that is The Neon Demon. Alright, up next we have the genre bending or combining effort, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Of course, taking Jane Austen's classic novel and combining it with zombies, of course. Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I thought Lily James was fantastic in the title role, or in the main role as Elizabeth Bennet, co-starring Sam Riley as Darcy, of course. Well, what I liked about this movie is, yes, you have the backdrop of a zombie outbreak and people doing martial arts and killing zombies and all the blood and gore and all that kind of stuff, but at the heart of this film, it really is still the traditional Jane Austen romantic storyline between those two, and that's why I liked it, because yeah, I liked the 2005 version, Pride and Prejudice, with Keira Knightley. And this film still has the traditional Jane Austen story, like I said, even though it has some backdrop of killing zombies and stuff. yeah, Lily James, I liked her a lot in the recent Cinderella. I thought she was fantastic in that, and I liked her a lot in this as well. Really good supporting cast. People like Charles Dance and Lena Headey, two of the most famous Lannisters from Game of Thrones, of course, um, as yeah, Cersei and Tywin Lannister. Yeah, so good seeing those two in films like this as well. But so that is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Alright guys, moving on, we have The Shallows, directed by Homey Collett Sarah, and starring Blake Lively. Yeah, really good shark attack film that I enjoyed a lot. Yeah, Blake Lively, she's vacationing in Mexico, and for sort of some inexplicable reason she goes surfing by herself, doesn't really tell anybody where she is or where she's going. Goes surfing and basically gets attacked by a great white shark, and has to fight for survival. Only 200 feet meters offshore. Yeah, good intense film. Fantastic performance by Lively. She looks fantastic throughout this movie, of course, because she's basically in a bikini most of it. So nothing wrong with that. Yeah, much better than the recent 47 Meters Down, another shark attack movie which I watched last week. I like this film a lot because I'm a Blake Lively fan for obvious reasons, but still I enjoyed it. Really tense, some good moments, and a great lead performance, like I said, from Blake Lively. Basically is the whole film. Yeah, good movie, The Shallows. Alright, last but not least, we have one of, I think, probably the first film that came out in 2016 or late 2015, The Witch, or is it The Vitch? I don't know, because it's two V's, spelling the W at the beginning of the title. But yeah, interesting, atmospheric, sort of old school horror movie set in 1630s New England, directed by Robert Eggers, about a rural family sort of living on the outskirts of the woods, and dealing with sort of interesting paranormal forces around their little house. Yeah, fantastic performance by Anya Taylor-Joy in this film as the young daughter. I thought she was fantastic. Some interesting moments with her brother early on in the film. Sort of some weird things going on between the two of them. I won't go into much detail about that. And then it sort of unravels from there as I think the youngest child gets abducted, and the family sort of turns on each other. Yeah, really interesting, atmospheric film. I liked it a lot when I first saw it. Yeah, that is The Witch, or The Vitch. I don't know if it is The Vitch or The Witch. You tell me if you know these things. So there you have it, 9 films. Sort of very horror themed update for Halloween, of course. I hope everybody has a great holiday today. Going to parties or getting candy or whatever you like. Watching horror films, of course. Probably throughout the month of October already. I know some people already do that. I've done it a couple times in years past. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.
Bond. James Bond.